The most highly requested cocktail on our show isn't cocktails at all. It's sour mix.
This episode sponsored by Stefan, Joseph, Linda, Ray, and Amy, and many others. Thanks for supporting the show. You can show your support by donating at everydaydrinkers.com/donate.
Welcome to Common Man Cocktails. I'm your host, Derek Schomer, and today we're going to create sour mix. Because I'm going to make this video that just says how to make sour mix. And then every time I make a recipe and somebody goes, how do you make your sour mix? I can say, go here. Finally. This recipe has no alcohol. It's going to have 3 ingredients. It's going to have simple syrup. It's going to have lemons. It's going to have limes. And we're going to mix it.
Well, the juice from lemons and limes.
Right here. Lime juice, non-concentrated. So, first thing you kind of want to do is, if your limes and lemons are kind of new, you got to roll them out a little bit. Get the juices flowing. Kind of really, you want to like get them really worked up.
It could be so wrong.
So, you get those going. If they're, sometimes, like if they're really tight, what you want to do is put them in the microwave for like 3 seconds to warm up. Then you can really get them going. So, you got that going. You're gonna need, well, you don't, but I'm going to use a lime press or lemon press because it's bigger than a lime press, so I can do both. Simple syrup. This simple syrup I made myself. It's pretty basic. I am going to preserve it right now because people ask how long does this last. By itself, you probably get a good 2 weeks out of it. I usually go for the 6-month marker with about a ½ ounce or so. For what I have here, probably about a ½ ounce or a little bit more of vodka. I'm using Tito's because Tito's is 5 times distilled. It is as close to no additional flavor than any other vodka. So I'm going to throw that in my simple syrup, and that's going to help keep the bacteria and everything out. That way you get a lot longer longevity out of it, because the other problem people mention is, I'm not making my own simple syrup because I don't want to have to make it on demand all the time, and I want to make one cocktail. Good, do this. Now you've got that in your refrigerator for a few months. You can't complain at me anymore. Simple syrup, well, you can. The actual sour mix, however, I typically do on demand because as these tasty little fruits kind of are susceptible to oxygen, they start to lose some of their bitterness. Is it bitter? No, sour. And I like the sour. It is, after all, sour mix. Use a sharp knife, by the way, because non-sharp knives will cut you better. And I'm going to cut off the ends so that they're flat a little bit. Especially if you get those what do you call these things? Lemons that are super pointy. When you put them in the press, they like bend over and stuff shoots everywhere, and it gets all crazy. So my recipe is 1 ounce lemon, 1 ounce lime. It's really a little more lemon because I just used 2 lemons. It's simple, and that's about 1.5 ounces. But whatever, 1 and 1, and 2 ounces of simple syrup. That's it. It's freshly made simple syrup. You want to make that? I did this right here to make that much. Was 1 cup of water and 1 cup of sugar. So really, you're getting 2 parts sugar in our mix.
I thought you used extra sugary.
Oh, it's the rich simple syrup?
Yeah, rich.
I do that sometimes, but not all the time. You can just double your quantities. You can do 2 parts sugar to 1 part water. You'll get a richer, thicker syrup if you like sweeter drinks. I play with both, really. And
Don't drop it.
By the way, this is the part that's cut. Goes upside down in the squeeze. Notice the holes. They don't put those there for decoration. They don't put them there so your lime can breathe or your lemon. They're there to extract the juice. Flip this around and make it a little easier. Now, you could do this. You still might get a little bit in the eye, but typically not normally. And I found that if you use, and it'll turn concave, this is cool. If you use a more ripe lemon or lime, you'll have an easier time juicing and getting a lot more out of it. Which means you might have more of a sour, but it is, after all, a sour mix. And you don't need to have a Cointreau shaker for this. This is just because it's convenient. You could put this in a glass and stir it. I just like to get all crazy. So there you go. Not a perfect measure, but it's really all about the taste and the measure. This pattern tends to work well, 1 and 1, regardless of the size of the fruit. Now the sour mix we're making will have a little bit of vodka in it. So if you're making mocktails or anything for children, I would say create this. Just don't put the vodka in there. You can make a small half portion if you're afraid of it just going bad because you're not going to use it. Or make another excuse and come up with some cocktails that need it.
Or make the mocktails and then add the vodka.
For yourself. Brilliant. We're going to shake a little bit. Another question I get is, where did I get this? It came with a gift set, I think, right?
No, I think we got it at
Tales of the Cocktail. But I've seen them in gift sets. Like on Christmas time with the Cointreau brand. Because it says Cointreau
This
somewhere.
year, I think we got that weird looking cup with Cointreau.
Yeah, the cool coupe glass. So you've got your simple syrup, throw that in the refrigerator. This you use for your cocktail. Now you can, if you have some fresh fruit, leave it in the fruit until you need it, then cut it, make it. If you're gonna do a large portion, like say this right here, you can make margaritas, Long Island iced teas, all kinds of things that call for sour mix, including the Rouge Passion, which you'll see tomorrow because I'm gonna use this for that recipe. Now, if you're going to be making 10 ounces, 20 ounces, this could take a long time. My suggestion, and I've heard this from other people who do this in the industry, not just me because I think I'm cool, is what they do is they take a portion of lemonade or limonade, pour it in a pitcher, and then before you serve it, take like 4 limes or lemons, cut them, squeeze them right into either the drinks or that big jar to begin with. And now you'll keep some of that cool sour bite, but have a larger quantity, and you don't have to sit there and just press, 10, 20 limes and lemons, because that's not fun for anybody. And it's already got the sugar in there, so you won't need the simple syrup. And if you don't want to do any of that, and you really want, you could go out and buy simple syrup. It's kind of, I don't know, it's not that expensive, but it seems kind of silly at this point. But you can also use an agave nectar if you want to go that route. Instead of using this, you may have a little more the agave flavor in it. Making margaritas, awesome. Otherwise, it's up to you. Some people use it in coffee. So that is how I make the sour mix. You can do whatever you want. 2 lemons, 2 limes, or like 1, all limes, all lemons. My sour mix, I like a hybrid with equal parts of sugar. That's it. Question of the day. Do you make your own mixes, or do you cheap out and buy that high fructose corn syrup stuff? I think I've asked it before, but this seems like the appropriate venue for that. There you go. EverydayDrinkers.tv. We're teaching how to drink, or something.